Coming up on This Week in the NPSL, the South Region semifinals are set, but one of the best teams of the regular season sees their postseason end early. We'll have that Big Easy upset. In the Northeast, 2 top seeds are advancing, while another is sent packing. We'll show you why the Eagles are flying into the region semifinals. Meanwhile, it's business as usual as the best in the West carry their regular season success into the postseason. And in the Midwest, the regular season comes to a close. So who's in and who's out of the playoffs? We have all the answers to your postseason questions and our Miter Player of the Week next. Greetings and thank you for joining us for the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL. I'm your host, Paul Boron, and we will start in the South. We're in the Heartland. The top 2 seeds squared off in the finals Saturday after both escaped their Wednesday semifinals with 1-goal home wins. So as Tulsa Athletic traveled to Wichita on Saturday, who would win the Heartland and who would have their hearts broken? Wichita gets on the board first in the 4th minute. Matt Clare from Luca Nanelli, and it's 1-0 Wichita. Just 12 minutes later, they score again as Derry Korf is unassisted to make it 2-0. Then it is Clare again, just a minute later, and Wichita is rolling 3-0. But in the 27th minute, Tulsa starts to chip away. Dave Leung, assisted by Santiago Riveras, makes it 3-1. But that's as close as they got as Wichita scores in the 56th minute as Korf is assisted by Marcos Gomez. Beautiful passing as you see back and forth before Korf puts it away. And in the 77th minute, Matt Clare gets another one, this time assisted by Korf. And off that beautiful passing, Clare completes the hat trick, and FC Wichita advances as Heartland champs. To the Southeast Conference and the semifinals on Friday afternoon in New Orleans. The top seed in the East, Knoxville, taking on the 3 seed out of the West, Nashville. 7th minute, Connor Jacobs off of the nice combination gets a good chance, but Hayden Kaufman tips it over the bar. Then 25 minutes into the half, lightning in the area forced an hour delay in the match. When they resumed in the 39th minute off of the free kick, Inter Nashville grabs the lead as James Narkey deflects it in. Knoxville tied it 3 minutes later on a Tim Baker goal, and they were pushing for the lead in the 67th minute, but Joe Taylor's header just misses the mark. In the 70th minute, Chuka Aru is down the left side for Nashville, makes a move inside and buries the low right footer to push the lead to 2-1. One last chance for Knoxville in stoppage time, but they can't find the equalizer as Inter Nashville advances thanks to Aru's game winner.
It's a fantastic feeling whenever you score the winning goal and your mates just like surround you. There's nothing like it.
Take me through the goal. Tell me what happened. You were very patient.
Yeah, because I love to take the ball. I'm right-footed, obviously. So like whenever I think it was Beto that played me through, I don't remember exactly who, but I was going to take the defender for pace, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I just cut on the inside, and then I cut past another defender, and I just decided to go back across him through his legs and into the left-hand bottom corner.
Second semifinal pitted Atlanta against the regular season champion Jesters. Big crowd of more than 2,800 on hand, and this match was all about Jesters keeper Chad Collins in the 9th minute. Just getting enough of this one to make a great save and tip it into the bar. In the 39th minute, New Orleans takes the lead. A perfect cross from John Evans finds Tony Judice. He buries the header to give the Jesters the lead. From there, Collins would make it stand up. 44th minute, he goes up and gets this long Atlanta opportunity. To stoppage time, and Dean Foster with a low blast from 30 yards out, but Collins dives to save that one. And then furious action in the final seconds, but Atlanta can't find the equalizer, and New Orleans advances.
Atlanta are a great team. 3 times we played them now, we beat them 3 times, but at the end of the day, every single one of the players battled from 90 minutes. Shout out to Tony again, it was a great goal, but from the front to the back, we defended and we come away with the 3 points, but it's all about tomorrow at the end of the day. Nashville, be a completely different game.
Another crowded house for the Southeast Conference Final. 16th minute, Jesters nearly draw first blood as Nathan Heath rises up, but his header catches the bar. A minute later, Addy Olu puts his head to it, but just misses the far post. And that is just the beginning of an adventurous night for Olu. 4 minutes later, recovering after Chad Collins makes the initial save to prevent a Nashville goal. Then the moment of the match. Nashville plays the ball over the top to James Narkey. He is battling with Olu, and Olu is called for a penalty and then shown a red card. Liam Collins would step to the spot and beat Chad Collins, and Inter Nashville goes to the locker room up 1-0. So New Orleans is playing with 10 men, and Inter takes advantage in the 64th minute. Christian Gomez comes sliding in on the far post and knocks it in. Then in stoppage time, Dean Foster adds one more as Inter Nashville FC wins the Southeast Conference crown.
I think, you know, maybe a 50-50 play. I think we might have been a bit lucky to actually get the penalty, and I think the red card is a little harsh, but I've got a side that I normally got, and that's kind of where it is. So luckily the keeper went the other direction, so it was a good start, and then being down to 10 men kind of put the ball in our court, and luckily we were able to kind of put it home from there.
Just talk about what this team did. You go to Chattanooga, you knock off the 1 seed in each conference. Just what you guys did in this playoff run.
And I think a lot of people wrote us off from the start. You know, maybe it's a lot of players that were rejected by other clubs and stuff like that. But we had great team chemistry, and getting to Chattanooga and getting the result there was massive. And we felt like after that win that we could really push on and kind of achieve something. And thankfully we did today.
Well, you know the challenge is going to be big going to Miami, team that's top of the power rankings. Just talk about that challenge, and I guess you embracing that challenge.
Yeah, and we set this out as our target kind of for the season, win this and then kind of go from there. So we've done that and trip down to Miami, and it's 90 minutes, a cup game basically, and just leave everything we've got and hope for a bonus win kind of and keep our season going. It's been a great journey so far, so we're trying to progress it as long as we can.
Battle of rivals in Miami, and Matias Alvarez with a cross into the box. Stefano Fanfoni connects with it on the volley, but it goes off the post. Meanwhile, Fusion goalkeeper Luis Aranzazu kept his team in it with some spectacular play. The lone goal coming in the 70th minute. Daryl Gordon crossing it in, and David Ochoa is there to put it away. Miami wins it 1-0. So Miami Fusion FC advances to the South Region semis by virtue of their regular season crown. The final South spot goes to Midland Odessa, who knocked off Shreveport in the Lone Star final, getting an extra time goal from Isaac Sanchez to propel them into the region finals. And so here is how the South Region sets up Saturday night, with Inter Nashville FC taking on the top-ranked team in the whole league, Miami Fusion FC, while in the other semifinal, Midland Odessa will travel to face FC Wichita, with the highest remaining seed hosting the region final next week. When we come back, we will check in on the first round of the West Region playoffs, where FC Arizona was hoping their undefeated regular season would carry on into their quarterfinal against Albion. Highlights are next.
Keep up to date on NPSL with scores, schedules, stats, and exclusive content on NPSL.com. Visit NPSL.com to browse our dedicated ticket platform, read up on NPSL Spotlight, and view the latest episode of This Week in the NPSL.
In the West, the story of the region has been the dominance of FC Arizona, who not only swept through an unbeaten regular season, they only gave up 3 goals all year. Yes, that's right, 3. The last team to score on them was Albion SC back on June 10th. That team just happened to be Arizona's quarterfinal opponent on Friday. It didn't take long for FC Arizona to get on the board. 4th minute, David Alton taking the pass from Dom Papa, and it's 1-0 to the home team. Just 7 minutes later, Ignacio Cova to Mo Salami, and that's the second goal of the game. It's 2-0. They get one more before half in the 37th minute as Alton passes it to Cesar Mejia, and Arizona goes on to the 3-1 victory. FC Arizona advances to the semis and will host the 4 seed Orange County FC, who got a 40th minute goal from Tristan Weber to beat Riverside Coras. Meanwhile, the 2 seed CD Aguiluchos got a hat trick from Simon Romsley as they blanked Sonoma County Sol 4-0. They will face Kitsap Soccer Club, who scored just 3 minutes into their match with FCM Portland on a Romario Lomelli goal and added another to win 2-0. So the 2 semifinals are set for Saturday night, and we'll have Orange County traveling to face FC Arizona, while Kitsap will play in San Leandro against CD Aguiluchos in the other semifinal. When we return, we shift to the Northeast, where New Jersey COPA was hoping to ride the high of their semifinal thriller to a Keystone crown, but Clarkstown SC Eagles had other ideas. Those highlights are ahead.
MITRE is the official ball supplier of the National Premier Soccer League. Visit www.mitre-usa.com for more information. That's www.mitre-usa.com.
We are back on This Week in the NPSL, and time to go to the Northeast, where Hartford City FC knocked off their New England rivals in Boston on Wednesday, and they had to follow that up with a trip to raucous Dietz Stadium on Saturday, where a record crowd of 1,400 was ready to watch their Kingston Stockade play their first ever playoff game. The guests put a jolt into the home crowd early in this match. 5th minute, the Stockade misplay it, and that leads to a Sebastian Sezwuski goal, and it's 1-0 for Hartford City FC. But the home team answers 10 minutes later, Bruce Jeter scoring his first Stockade goal, and we are tied at 1. It stays that way all the way until extra time when Michael Cresswick rips one off the post and in. Stockade FC leads it 2-1 in that overtime, and they go on to celebrate the Atlantic White Conference Championship. New Jersey COPA coming off a thrilling home win in the Keystone semis, hosting the 2-seed Clarkstown SC Eagles, and all Eagles in this one, jumping out in the 19th minute on a Christopher Katona goal. 53rd minute, Emerson Lawrence on the PK, and he doubles the lead. And then a minute later, it's a nail in the coffin for COPA, as Katona scores again, and Clarkstown SC wins it 3-1, and they will host the aforementioned Stockade on Saturday night. So Kingston Stockade wins, and they now will face Clarkstown SC in the Atlantic Blue Final. Elm City Express keeps on rolling as they get 2 second-half goals to beat TSF FC. They will now host the Cinderella of the Northeast, Legacy 76, who gave up an 89th minute goal and forced extra time, but then they got the game winner from Ryan Flesh in the 109th minute and added one more in a 3-1 win. And now Friday night, Legacy 76 will travel to Connecticut to face the Express, while the other semifinal will be on Saturday as Clarkstown SC and Kingston Stockade square off for a spot in the Northeast Finals. So the playoffs are well underway in 3 regions, and now the playoffs are set in the Midwest after the regular season came to a close last weekend. So who's going on and who is going home? Find out next.
SoccerStub is the official ticket provider of the NPSL and powers the league ticket platform. Support live local soccer by visiting tickets.npsl.com to find tickets to NPSL matches near you directly from NPSL teams.
We're back on This Week in the NPSL, where a de facto playoff game took place in Rochester Saturday night, where the Lancers needed to beat Erie, then root for their rivals from Syracuse to also beat Erie on Sunday. But first off, could the Lancers take care of business at home? 10 minutes into the game, and it's Tyler Brew coming up with a big save. And then in the 28th minute, his number called again, and he makes another spectacular save. We go to the 30th minute, Erie breaks through on this beautiful effort by Malcolm Shaw, giving the Commodores a 1-0 lead. But just 7 minutes later, Lucas Fernandez splits the defenders with a nice pass, puts Will Stone through on net, and he makes no mistake, it's tied at 1. 68th minute, off of the free kick, Fernandez plays a spectacular ball to substitute Glenn Holmes. He heads it in to give the Lancers a 2-1 lead. It's Fernandez's team-leading 5th assist of the year. Lancers put it away in the 77th minute. Anthony Rosano plays a ball over the Erie defenders. Will Stone puts it away. That makes the score 3-1, keeping the Lancers' playoff hopes alive. But Erie would tie Syracuse on Sunday, giving them the final playoff spot. The usual big crowd in Detroit as they welcome their neighbors from the West. And it took almost 40 minutes for someone to score in this matchup. But once they did, they came in bunches. 39th minute, Lansing United getting the goal by Morris Kamara. And then in the 65th minute, another Lansing goal, this time James DeCosimo. 3 minutes later, Tumi Mushabane putting it away, and it's 3-0, and this game is over, right? Not so fast. Detroit City gets one 3 minutes later off a goal by Sean Lawson. Then in the 79th minute, Seb Harris cuts it to a 1-goal deficit. And then Detroit comes all the way back for the draw in the 87th minute. Owen Hoskins finishing the corner kick, 3-3 the final. Kalamazoo FC playing the first of their 2 weekend games on Saturday, hosting Milwaukee at Mayor's Riverfront Park. Torrent got on the board first as a result of a foul just outside the box. The ensuing kick finds the head of Milwaukee's Daniel Cisneros, who put the away team up 1-0 in the 13th minute. Final seconds of the half, however, Dumisane Manyange drives to the edge of the 18, shakes his defender, and chips across to a diving Jay McIntosh, who levels the score heading to half. 61st minute. This time it's McIntosh to Manyange, who collects the tipped ball, darts into the box, and edges it past the Milwaukee keeper to give them the lead. Then things got chippy. 3 yellow cards shown immediately after the goal. The Milwaukee coach is ejected, and the Torrent closed the game with just 9 men as Kalamazoo wins 2-1. Then Kalamazoo and Lansing playing their final games of the season Sunday night at East Lansing Soccer Complex. Kalamazoo got on the board quickly when Ade Aduniyi backheeled the ball to Ali Sodal, who cut deep into the box, sliced across the mouth of the goal to a sliding Jay McIntosh. It's 1-0 Kalamazoo. McIntosh found his second of the night in stoppage time when he brought down a ball at the end of the box and shot a bullet in the lower left corner. It's 2-0. In the second half, McIntosh completes the hat trick from the penalty spot. 4th goal of the weekend for him. And then Lansing got a penalty kick of their own in the 64th minute when Tumi Mashabane placed a beautiful ball into the upper right corner, grabbing one back for the home team, but Kalamazoo would get one more. Impressive solo effort by Dumisani Manyange, who weaved through the Lansing box, chipped the ball over the right side into the goal. 4-1 the final as Kalamazoo beats Lansing United. Indiana FC visiting the Michigan Stars for the final game of the inaugural season at Hurley Field. Kevin Amazio with a goal, and Indiana FC really owned the first stanza, including a pair of goals by Amazio, and it was 3-0 going into halftime. Defender Jacob Prudhomme getting a goal in the 64th minute on a great pass from defender Wilfred Williams. Then it's Alex Ofimu nailing home the header off a long throw from Taylor Fletcher for the equalizer in stoppage time. Even deeper into stoppage time is Brandon Katona tapping home the game-winning goal off a centering touch by Michael Beckett. Katona scoring his 2nd goal of the season in consecutive games. The final, Stars closing out their home schedule with a 4-3 win. Huge game in the north as Dakota Fusion and Minnesota Twin Stars do battle, and Dakota's Adrian Buklowski gets the first goal of the night as he taps a ball that was centered off of a Damian Robbins free kick. 12 minutes later, the Twin Stars answer with a beautiful shot from 18 yards out by Chad Miller, and it's 1-1. 42nd minute, Zahir Alabasi gets an assist, sending Jade Johnson behind the back line. He beats the defender and strikes one under the keeper to give the Fusion the lead. Just 5 minutes into the second half, check out Jade Johnson's control as he turns, beats the defender. He could have scored himself, but gets an assist as Alabasi drills a volley for the goal. 7 minutes later, Twin Stars Tyler Oliver behind the Fusion's back line, and before you know it, they've got their 2nd goal of the game, and it's 3-2. But in the 77th minute, the unstoppable Jade Johnson dribbles towards the goal and scores his 2nd of the night, and then for good measure in the 86th, his 3rd as he steps up to the penalty spot and knocks it home. Fusion win it 5-3. So a final look at the standings where the top 2 from each conference get in. Dakota plays their way in while Duluth FC locked up the number 2 Midwest seed with their 9-goal output against Sioux Falls. Dayton and Erie both advanced from the East with 21 points, but Erie gets the higher seed on goal differential. And in the Great Lakes, there was no drama as Detroit City and AFC Ann Arbor move on with Ann Arbor as the top seed in the Midwest. So the top 2 get the weekend off while Erie hosts Dayton. And the 4-5 matchup will have Detroit City hosting the Fusion. And we stay with the Fusion for our final Miter Player of the Week. And it is Jade Johnson of the Dakota Fusion. Johnson, as you just saw, collected a hat trick this weekend and now has 17 goals on the season. Pretty amazing stuff considering he also works 2 jobs. The University of Jamestown product is a 2-time NAIA All-American and still holds the school record for goals. And now he adds Miter Player of the Week to his resume. and the Fusion will need Jade this weekend in what could be one of the best matchups on the schedule against Detroit City FC. Once again, setting you up for the playoff action. The top 2 seeds in the Midwest will wait on this weekend's action as they look ahead to the semifinals next Friday. Semifinals in the South and West regions take place this Saturday, while there will be one semifinal on Friday and one on Saturday in the Northeast. And we will have all of the results next week and get you set for regional finals when we rejoin you. But for now, Paul Boron thanking you for joining us on This Week in the NPSL.